Welcome to the first case study theme looking at fast-tracking athletes versus the need to maintain traditional coaching pathways. The article begins by introducing the National Coaching Accreditation Scheme, which provides a ticketing function for coaching roles, has achieved high status within the sporting community, has had an impact on personal coaching confidence and awareness, provides standards for others to judge the quality of coaching, and functions as somewhat of a gatekeeper. The discussion then turns to the differential perception and treatment of those with elite playing backgrounds when compared to those from traditional coaching backgrounds, with many former athletes being provided with the means to fast-track their accreditations. The article then introduces one of its key themes, relational interdependence, whereby an interdependence exists between the social and individual world, with the interactions between the two being considered relational given its individual specific. The authors use this concept as it allows for comparison between individual differences in perspective, disposition, and social capital. Social capital being the second theme explored throughout this study, as it implies that people treat their relationship with others as important resources that can be utilized for a number of reasons. The stigma that surrounds professional athletes means that they typically enjoy privileged access to both people and resources that coaches of traditional pathways are not privy to. The study utilised semi-structured interviews so as to allow the interviewer to explore particular topics with greater depth. The two individuals interviewed represented both fast-tracked accreditation and a traditional coaching pathway. The interviewees were asked a number of questions relating to their personal history, their learning through both athletic and coaching experiences, personal agency, and the perceived value of various coaching development activities. The analysis of the interviews, with the assistance of individuals working in sports coaching, physical education, and workplace learning, required the partitioning of answers into common themes that were agreed upon by all involved. Information pertaining to the interviews was presented individually, as followed by a discussion of relevant themes. The data required from each participant was broken down based on its relevance to their athletic and coaching history, followed by the developmental opportunities afforded to each individual, both within and outside of their sport. The article was presented in perhaps the most logical format and allowed the reader to get a snapshot of each individual before providing a comparison. I feel that the article was compelling due to its relevance in contemporary sport. Many coaches currently employed at an elite level have come through fast-tracked accreditation schemes that have somewhat cheapened the accomplishment of those undertaking more traditional coaching pathways. While former athletes are given more affordances and perhaps enter an environment demanding the respect of players and coaching staff alike, the majority of literature suggests that they lack the experience required to be successful, as indicated by the high turnover of recently retired athletes turned coaches. Having worked with AFL Queensland for the past 5 years, I've seen a number of coaches enter the regional and state-based competitions. Such positions are highly sought after and are usually occupied by coaches with a long list of both accreditations and credentials. One particular season saw the employment of a former player who had been fast-tracked through their retirement. Given their status, this individual was obviously given full reign of all representative programs. However, was unable to connect with players given their reputation as a player, expected too much from the players as a whole, trained at an intensity and skill level that was far above their requirements, and was unable to recognise the roles of other members of the coaching staff. As a result, the teams associated to this individual recorded their worst performances, with many players either dropping out of the sport or instead opting to play elsewhere.